Whoosh! Above the Devil Sea territory, the group had been sailing for several days and was now approaching the center of the sea. On the dark, ominous waters, they could sense waves of danger in the air. Boom! Moments later, a deafening crash sounded like thunder, filling the entire ship. What happened? The moment the loud noise erupted, Xiao quickly rushed out of his room and onto the ship's deck. He inquired, sensing an eerie and uncomfortable aura mixed within the thunderous sound. Upon reaching the deck, Xiao saw that Jasmine and Elder Gu were already standing there, their gazes stern as they looked below. The other three were inside the ship, helping the sailors manage the vessel. "We hit a reef," Jasmine said, her beautiful eyes moving as she gazed at the turbulent sea below, speaking coldly. "Let's check it out. It's too dangerous to stay here for long. If we linger..." Elder Gu's face changed slightly as he spoke. "I need you to come with me. Only with your soul power will I be able to act without worry," Jasmine said, not hiding her thoughts as she looked at Xiao. After all, not every strong person could combine both soul power and Do Qi. Many powerful experts, like Jasmine at the 6-star Do Xian level, still had quite a distance to go before reaching the immortal realm in terms of soul power. "All right," Xiao nodded lightly, knowing that things wouldn't be simple down there. "Elder Gu, ensure the safety of the ship. Let's go." With a splash, the two of them dove straight into the water, heading towards the reef beneath the ship. Whirring. As soon as they entered the water, Xiao vast soul power surged, forming a transparent blue barrier around them that blocked the sea's corrosive effects. Even so, a tremendous pressure filled their hearts. The pressure felt as if a weak woman was carrying a 1,000-pound stone. It was so intense that it made breathing difficult. "What terrifying pressure," Xiao muttered. Beneath the water, it was pitch black, with the constant waves adding to the oppressive force that clouded their vision and surrounded them. "Stay close," Jasmine hummed, her body agile as she swam, circling the ship, trying to find the cause of the disturbance. It seems this time it's not the reef. After scanning the area, Jasmine realized that the issue wasn't the reef, but rather that the ship's tail was tangled in an extremely dark sludge. When they focused on the eerie sludge, a chilling sense of danger immediately filled the air. "What is this?" Xiao asked. "This is the demonic sludge unique to the Devil Sea territory," Jasmine said, her eyes glowing faintly as she scanned the dark sea. "It's a strange creature. They have low intelligence and power, but whenever they appear, it's usually a bad omen. They often attach themselves to powerful creatures." Whirring. As they spoke, the black sludge began to writhe uncontrollably, sending a cold shiver through both of their bodies. "There's something below," Xiao exclaimed. "Move quickly." Seeing Jasmine's serious expression, Xiao immediately dispersed his soul power to explore, but it was quickly devoured by a mysterious force that caused significant harm. Xiao was startled. "Glug, glug. Ha ha. It's been a long time since a human dared to enter my domain." A voice, accompanied by black bubbles, rose from the bottomless depths, accompanied by a deafening sneer. "Don't stop the soul power. It's just a tiny insect," Jasmine called out. Her body emanated a faint, eerie glow as she swam towards the source of the voice, her movements swift like a fish. "All right," Xiao thought to himself, smiling inwardly. Everything he was doing was to reduce Jasmine's wariness of him. Otherwise, given his sensitivity and strength, these small creatures would be nothing to worry about. Fortunately, his efforts had been successful. Jasmine's wariness of him was gradually decreasing, which would help him in future actions. Bang, bang, bang. A collision of eerie light and darkness created a surge of energy that suddenly erupted. A 5-star Do Xian level demonic stone lizard? After a brief clash, Jasmine quickly retreated, her figure shielded by the surge of water and soul power. "Are you okay?" Xiao asked tentatively. "Space binding. Dimensional annihilation." Ignoring Xiao, Jasmine raised her hand. A silver blaze suddenly erupted in the dark seabed, her body resembling a bow pulled taut, radiating brilliant light. At a glance, this creature appeared to be nothing more than a lizard about several dozen meters long, with black pupils that seemed to be filled with a bloodthirsty, savage aura. Apart from that, there was nothing particularly unusual about it. Boom! Without holding back, Jasmine gently raised her hand, and the brilliant power of space in her palm transformed into a silver bow, which shot out and created a massive wave on the dark sea surface. Crack! With a single motion, the silver bow sliced through the creature effortlessly. Before it even realized what had happened, it was cleaved in half, its vitality rapidly fading. Bang! 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 After splitting the demonic stone lizard in two, Jasmine was ready to hold back, but to her surprise, the creature's eyes suddenly turned blood red, and a wave of madness spread out, engulfing the entire dark sea. Its strength surged violently in an instant. Wait, this sea beast's current state is eerily similar to the situation in Water Abyss City, when it attacked those few people. What's going on? At this moment, Xiao Yan's expression grew unusually serious. It was clear that they were headed in the right direction, and the truth would soon surface. Another case of demonic transformation. Yin Xiao, use your soul power and attack it with me. Don't give it a chance to unleash its power, or it'll cause us a lot of trouble. Jasmine's face shifted slightly as she looked at the creature, now cut in half. She shouted, ghostly echoing heavenly illusions. Space slash. Their combined forces erupted once again, and in an instant, they completely vaporized the creature. After all, the combined power of a late-stage immortal realm soul and a 6-star Do Xian expert was more than enough to deal with a 5-star Do Xian sea beast. Let's go back. After completing this, Jasmine casually waved her hand. Clearly, she had noticed something from Yin Zhao's earlier attack. His soul power seemed to be more than just from the immortal realm. Now you want to leave. It's not going to be that easy. Xiao Yin shook his head helplessly. After speaking, he pointed lightly at the pair of scarlet eyes beneath the sea. In those scarlet eyes, an overwhelming sense of killing intent and fury seemed to hide, and this creature was likely the true ruler of this sea area. Looks like we're really lucky. Jasmine's beautiful eyes swept over the scene, her chest rising and falling rapidly as she gazed at the crimson eyes below. A smile appeared on her lips. Their Jasmine mercenary group had once encountered the demonic whale sea dragon beast during a sea mission. Fortunately, Jasmine had given her all to repel it. Otherwise, their mercenary group would have been wiped out. It was from that moment that a deadly grudge was formed between the two. Humph! Hearing Jasmine's words, an extremely furious and violent voice echoed from below. In an instant, the entire sea area roared with waves, as if enraged by the sea god. The entire sea was filled with an unprecedented roar and fury. The demonic whale sea dragon beast? It's been a long time. As the terrifying roar spread, Jasmine confirmed her thoughts and spoke softly. Little human, you managed to escape by chance last time, but this time, I will tear you apart to restore the dignity of the demon sea territory's overlord. Rumble. In the blink of an eye, a roar spread, filled with an overwhelming force, like a demon filled with hatred for evil, evoking sympathy. Yin Xiao, go ahead, draw it out of the water. Otherwise, we stand no chance fighting it in the sea. Jasmine's body glowed with spatial power again, and she quickly used soul communication to speak to Yin Xiao. Understood, but this guy's a bit strong. Xiao Yin replied, and the dragon god's power surged within him. To cultivate the dragon god's fourth transformation, he needed the bones of a dragon, and this demonic whale sea dragon beast was clearly the best choice right now. Shush! The two of them had a plan and immediately moved without hesitation, swiftly fleeing the area. Since the demonic whale sea dragon beast was the ruler of the devil sea territory, fighting it in the water would undoubtedly be seeking death. Splash! With a sound, Xiao Yin and Jasmine broke through the surface of the water, while the massive creature used the concealment of the sea surface to counterattack from below. What's going on? Seeing Xiao Yin and Jasmine emerge from the water, Elder Goose stood on the deck, his face anxious as he asked. The sea above them was filled with lightning and thunder, and the oppressive feeling of death in the air made it clear they couldn't stay for long. Boom, boom, boom. Before Jasmine could reply to Elder Gu, A massive whip made entirely of water crashed against the ship. In an instant, the seemingly indestructible boat was scratched in several places. Elder Gu, the one attacking us from below, is the demonic whale sea dragon beast. Give me some time. Jasmine was well aware of the seriousness of the situation. Although the Jasmine mercenary group was known for its formidable combat abilities, they were currently on the sea. If it came down to a one-on-one fight, none of them stood a chance against the demonic whale sea dragon beast. All right. Elder Gu nodded lightly in response, and immediately, a wave of gentle Dochi energy emerged from his body. Water attribute, and this guy as well? Looking at the situation, it seems he's trying to tear apart the sealed Do skill. Seems like he's willing to go all out. Xiao Yin observed Jasmine, noticing the sacred vibrations around her. A massive energy filled with restrictions slowly spread outward, and he quickly understood what was happening. Boom, boom. Waves as large as towering pillars shot toward the boat, the fierce killing intent sending chills down their spines. I'll take care of the boat. You handle that big guy. Xiao Yin said softly. Soul's sacred shield. As soon as he spoke, Xiao Yan's deep eyes suddenly closed. Within him, the spirit palace shimmered like a sky full of stars. In an instant, a transparent, colorless soul force wrapped around the boat, halting the incoming waves of destruction. Boom, boom. At the same time, with Jasmine deploying the sealed Do skill, Elder Gu's body radiated patches of special water liquid, completely protecting the boat as the demonic whale sea dragon beast's violent attacks pounded relentlessly. Xiao Yan's brilliant soul energy shielded them, making the boat appear more and more imperceptible. Are these guys plotting against me? After a brief moment, Xiao Yin noticed that the two of them still hadn't moved, and he cursed inwardly. He realized they had clearly made him a decoy. Since you show no mercy, don't blame me for being heartless. In the next moment, a rare smile flickered in Xiao Yan's eyes. His soul energy plummeted as a mouthful of blood spurted out. Russell drowned in the Devil's Sea territory. After being injured, a massive tail surrounded by water curtains, as powerful and unstoppable as a dragon's tail, shot straight toward the boat with a pressure that could not be described. Such a powerful attack could likely destroy the boat in an instant. Just waiting for you. Rock water prison wall. Just as the tail was about to strike the boat's deck, moments away from obliterating it, Elder Gu's pupils constricted, and he let out a maniacal laugh. Whoosh! As soon as Elder Gu's voice fell, endless ocean water swirled out of his body like a vortex. A series of green water chains shot toward his position. Crack! Crack! In the blink of an eye, hundreds of water chains circled a certain area of the sea surface, and a colossal creature emerged. This is the demonic whale sea dragon beast. Xiao Yin pretended to be severely injured, putting on a pitiful act, but in reality, he wasn't hurt at all. Staring at the massive creature before him, he gasped. The demonic whale sea dragon beast was hundreds of meters tall, its body covered in smooth, protective scales. Its upper body resembled a whale, oval-shaped, with deep blue eyes. The back half of its body was small, consisting of only a tail resembling a dragon's, swaying in the water. The overwhelming pressure and dazzling power emanating from this massive form were enough to instill despair. A group of lowly humans. Last time, you ambushed me, but this time, I will tear you to pieces. Demonic sound tides. Despite being restrained by the hundreds of water chains, the demonic whale sea dragon beast still wielded the power of a sea ruler. Buzz, buzz. An ear-piercing sound like a bell rang through the air, probing the hearts of the three of them. The other two's pupils turned red, clearly in immense pain from the torture of the sound. Even their attack slowed down. Yin Xiao, soul defense. At this moment, Elder Gu could no longer hold on and roared. We can't hold on. Xiao Yin, too, was in great pain and shook his head. What a joke. Just moments ago, these two had tried to use him as bait to lure the demonic whale sea dragon beast into attacking, so they could unleash their big moves. If Xiao Yin hadn't been strong enough, he would have already perished from their scheme. Ha ha ha. Jasmine, this time, let's see how you can turn the tide. After the demonic sound tide subsided, Elder Gu slumped onto the deck, his aura completely disrupted by the previous attack. At this moment, he was unable to focus and conjure any offensive moves. Clang! Clang! The demonic whale sea dragon beast twisted its enormous body and moved closer toward the boat. Meanwhile, the dark clouds above the sky grew even denser, and deafening thunder rumbled throughout the air. "Oh, it seems like you've forgotten the pain after the scar healed," Jasmine said, her eyes slightly opening as she looked at the defeated appearances of Xiao and Elder Gu. Her palm displayed an extremely strange posture, holding a deep red liquid that gently swayed, containing a suffocating aura within. "Jasmine, let me show you what it truly means to be the ruler of the seas." Seeing Jasmine's calm expression, the demonic whale sea dragon beast sneered coldly. Its massive dragon tail swung gently, and instantly, countless amounts of water surged upward. They rapidly moved and soon formed a sharp and extreme hurricane. The air was thick with a hopeless aura of death, wreaking havoc on the sea's surface in an overwhelming display of power. This guy's strength is truly extraordinary. He can turn water into a hurricane with such tremendous force. Xiao assessed quietly, clearly, despite the tension between them, he wouldn't hold back when the situation called for action. Sealing Do skill, Dawn Flame. Jasmine smiled lightly as the deadly hurricane spread over the water, her palm casting the fiery liquid towards the demonic whale sea dragon beast. The entire sky was set ablaze, like a meteor falling in a sea of flames, a spectacular and fiery scene. Boom, boom, boom. The deep red liquid, once still, exploded the moment it left Jasmine's hand, like a lit fuse on dynamite. An endless, scorching, and holy aura erupted, turning the sky into a brilliant flame of red light. This flame enveloped the demonic whale sea dragon beast, trapping it in place. Good heavens, it's a peak sacred grade sealing technique. Xiao couldn't help but exclaim as he witnessed the strength of the sealing Do skill. Sealing Do skill? Not good. The demonic whale sea dragon beast's pupils finally grew solemn as it saw the oppressive power of the sealing force within the fiery light. Sea beasts and magical beasts alike could use Do skills, but unless they transformed to resemble humans, they couldn't learn more advanced techniques like sealing Do skills. This made sealing techniques a huge threat to them. Once hit, they would be at the mercy of their enemies, their advantages as sea beasts wiped away entirely. Whoosh whoosh. The demonic whale sea dragon beast's dragon tail twitched, and dark golden dragon patterns rapidly filled the tail. Under this pressure, even the mighty firelight began to lose its potency. "This guy has the bloodline of a subdragon?" Xiao said in astonishment. "How is that possible?" he continued, staring at the demonic whale sea dragon beast's desperate struggle. The dragon clan was powerful, a true behemoth in the great thousand worlds, but many magical beasts with incomplete bloodlines still carried dragon blood. True dragons, including the dragon gods and their 9 offspring, were beings with the power of true dragon blood. Anyone, be it human or beast, who carried this blood would experience a significant power and status boost. Subdragons were just beneath the true dragons in strength, holding considerable status within the dragon clan. Majestic dragon tail. Dragon tail. Sweep the heavens. With a roar, the demonic whale sea dragon beast's tail suddenly expanded hundreds of times, its dark golden dragon markings becoming more radiant. Although not as powerful as Xiao Basha mark, the force was still enough to break through the sealing Do skill. The tail, imbued with the dark golden dragon energy, swiped at the fiery light with a dismissive, sweeping motion. Boom. The seemingly powerful firelight was effortlessly swept aside and annihilated in an instant, the whole process flowing smoothly without a hitch. The strength of the Dragon Clan is truly legendary, but don't forget, I am a 6-star Dosian powerhouse with spatial attributes. Spatial barrier. Bind. At that moment, Jasmine's voice grew sharp, almost piercing the air. Thud. 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 Crystal mirrors, resembling faceted surfaces, suddenly appeared around the demonic whale sea dragon beast, and before it could react, Its body and the surrounding water were completely separated by the mirrors. The dark golden dragon tail, which had just been unleashed with immense power, was now powerless and returned to its normal state. Second sealing dose skill. You should be feeling the pressure now, right? Jasmine said. So this time, I'm here specifically for your bounty. At the same time, Jasmine unleashed 2 sealing dose skills, which put a great strain on her. But fortunately, she successfully isolated herself from the seawater, trapping herself in the sky above the sea. Otherwise, if she fought the demonic whale sea dragon beast underwater, even 2 6-star Docian experts would likely face inevitable defeat. You're smart, but you've made a fatal mistake. At this moment, the demonic whale sea dragon beast laughed. Come forth. My army, my people. The demonic whale sea dragon beast did not struggle at all. The spatial restraints could not block its voice. After a roar, powerful beings began to emerge from beneath the water's surface. 4-star Docian level demonic sea flood dragons. Late 5-star Docian level heavenly ink serpent. Jasmine's expression turned solemn as she looked at the formidable figures. If she could defeat the demonic whale sea dragon beast with her own power, it would still result in both sides suffering. As for the other tyrants of this devil sea territory, they could likely tear them apart with ease. Ha ha ha. Jasmine, this time, I'll see where you can run. The demonic whale sea dragon beast's voice was extremely grim, reverberating in everyone's hearts like the presence of death itself. After a moment, Elder Gu regained some fighting strength, but looking at the powerful sea beasts on the surface, he was at a loss for what to do. It's over. Submit to your demise in the devil sea territory and become fertilizer for this land. The demonic whale sea dragon beast seemed in no hurry. Compared to wiping them out directly, it preferred to slowly torment its prey, relishing the sight of humans fighting among themselves as they neared death. Strange, these creatures are filled with a strange, evil aura, and their pupils seem off. At this moment, Xiao, using his powerful soul force, sensed that the sea domain lords just emerging from the water had an abnormal aura, similar to the frenzied state of the biter and the previous demonic stone lizard. This aura, it's exactly the same. It doesn't matter. Even if I die, I'll make sure to slay you first. Jasmine's brow furrowed slightly as a sharp killing intent completely erupted from her. Since there was no escape, she would fight to the death. What secret does this sea domain hold? Xiao, however, was thinking about other matters. This sea domain undoubtedly contained a power that made the sacred flame uneasy, and with the sea beasts occasionally going mad, Xiao felt an overwhelming discomfort. But it seemed that apart from the sea beast overlord, the demonic whale sea dragon beast, the other sea lords had been corrupted by this strange influence. What was going on here? Boom! With a thunderous sound, Jasmine's spatial power spread out, and she immediately clashed with the demonic whale sea dragon beast. On the other side, Elder Gu was struggling to fight several sea domain lords alone. It seemed that defeat was just a matter of time. Forget it. I'll handle it myself. Xiao coldly swept a glance at the lords below, who appeared strong but were nothing more than remnants in his eyes, and spoke indifferently. These creatures were powerful, but they were weak compared to him. Whoosh! Whoosh! You've lost. The battle in the sky quickly decided the victor. The flames and spatial forces that had been violently burning around the demonic whale sea dragon beast were effortlessly turned into dust, and rare lightning crackled around its body. Clearly, this had been the result of a fierce battle. Cough, cough. Above the sky, Jasmine's hand was stained with bright red blood, and her aura was weak. It was clear that ever since she had barely driven off the demonic whale sea dragon beast, it had made several precautionary moves, leaving Jasmine utterly helpless now that she was fully prepared. Is this all? Looking at the victorious demonic whale sea dragon beast, which swung its massive dragon tail, Jasmine's expression grew resolute. She knew that this mission had been her sole decision, and the other mercenary team members had no good strategy. But even if she died, she wouldn't drag them down. Wait, what is that? Just as the demonic whale sea dragon beast was about to finish Jasmine off and claim victory, It noticed something beneath the sea sky, a series of extremely intense auras, accompanied by heart-rending screams, emerging from the water's surface. Whoosh! These guys seem a bit weak. Xiao Yin clapped his hands, effortlessly roasting the last sea beast, which was comparable to a perfected 5-star Do Xian in strength. Crafty little beast. The demonic whale sea dragon beast gritted its teeth as it looked at the amber-colored flames surrounding Xiao Yin. Despite its fury, it dared not attack, for even above the sea, these flames were far stronger than ordinary fire. Yin Xiao? At that moment, Jasmine was visibly shocked. She never expected Xiao Yin to have such a hidden trump card. Lord Yin Xiao, I apologize for my previous offense. Please, show mercy. Elder Gu bowed deeply, humbling himself before Xiao Yin, clearly indicating that using him as bait was his own idea. Let me handle this, Xiao Yin said, his amber flames flickering around him like spirits, each flash sending waves of intense heat across the sea surface. Boom! Suddenly, the Devil's Sea territory was engulfed in a violent storm, with lightning flashing across the sky, as though an unprecedented battle was about to unfold. It's strong, Jasmine murmured, then gracefully floated down to the boat's deck. At this point, she was at her limit. Meanwhile, the lords temporarily knocked out by Xiao Yin began to stir, their eyes filled with an unprecedented madness, as though they intended to devour both Xiao Yin and the demonic whale sea dragon beast. Get back! The demonic whale sea dragon beast growled, sending ripples across the sea surface, its command unmistakable and unyielding. Roar! Strangely, despite the command from their ruler, the lords showed no sign of retreating. Their bodies surged forward, charging at Xiao Yin and the demonic whale sea dragon beast. Have they been corrupted? Xiao Yin observed, realizing that he couldn't afford to be careless. His amber flames formed a natural barrier in front of him, protecting both the boat and himself. Rend! The immense body of the demonic whale sea dragon beast was torn apart by several lords, their teeth biting into it. The horrifying sound of tearing flesh echoed through the air, blending with the sickening noise of falling pieces of meat. Ah! The demonic whale sea dragon beast had never imagined that those lords, who had once been loyal, would dare to tear at it. The intense pain caused it to roar in fury. Get away from me! As the crazed lords continued to tear at its flesh, the demonic whale sea dragon beast let out a furious bellow, and a violent sea vortex materialized above the ocean. Whoosh whoosh! A strange sound echoed as several of the frenzied lords were sucked into the vortex, instantly transforming into a cloud of blood mist, the stench of blood filling the air and shocking everyone present. Even a sea beast as powerful as a 5-star Do Xian level creature was effortlessly annihilated by this ruler. Heh. After eliminating these enemies, the demonic whale sea dragon beast's body bore several small wounds. From these wounds, strange blood-red evil patterns began to appear, slowly forming. What's going on with these creatures? Jasmine and Elder Gu were utterly confused, their minds reeling from the demonic whale sea dragon beast's strange actions. Prepare to die. Amber Rock Soul Flame. Xiao Yin didn't hesitate. The demonic whale sea dragon beast, already wounded from fighting with Jasmine and now being attacked by its mad subordinates, was filled with strange power. This was the perfect opportunity to destroy it. With a roar, the amber flames around Xiao Yin flared, blazing like the sun. The heat radiated across the sky, and with a flash of rainbow light, they shot toward the demonic whale sea dragon beast. This sacred flame? The demonic whale sea dragon beast's pupils contracted as it felt the power of the flame. A sense of impending death surged through its heart. Defend yourself. The demonic whale sea dragon beast, shocked, gathered its remaining strength, trying to combine its power with the waters of the Devil's Sea territory to block Xiao Yan's terrifying strike. How could this be? To the beast's surprise, when it called upon its power, nothing responded. Even the link between it and the Devil's Sea territory was completely severed, its gaze fixed on the wounds across its body, from which rare blood-red markings spread, forming two vague words. Devil. Boom. Xiao Yin didn't know why the demonic whale sea dragon beast didn't resist, But with the sacred flame attack, his most powerful strike, the sky was completely set ablaze. Snap, snap. The massive body of the demonic whale sea dragon beast was scorched by countless amber flames from Xiao. In an instant, its limbs were severed and split into 5 parts, which Xiao swiftly stored in his pocket. Tisk, Tiske. This guy called Yin Xiao is something else. Meanwhile, in a quiet room aboard the ferry, a delicate woman slightly opened the window, staring at Xiao, who was floating in midair, tirelessly dissecting the demonic whale sea dragon beast's body. She murmured to herself. With that, the once invincible demonic whale sea dragon beast had fallen. However, it remained unclear whether its downfall was caused by Jasmine, a rebellion among its subordinates, or the most significant contribution of Xiao sacred flame. Several days had passed since the battle with the demonic whale sea dragon beast. Jasmine and Elder Gu's injuries had recovered considerably, but there were still no signs of the ferry returning along the same path. Instead, it seemed to be heading deeper into the sea territory. Inside Xiao room. Ugh. The aftereffects are really severe. After several days, Xiao had finally adjusted. It was clear that his reckless use of the sacred flame to destroy the demonic whale sea dragon beast had left him with intense side effects. Fire-type experts were severely suppressed in this sea region, causing a series of symptoms like dizziness and nausea. This was one of the most painful things for someone who couldn't swim. Finally adapted. Now it's time to focus on the real task. Otherwise, they probably won't let these things slide, Xiao said with a faint smile. After annihilating the demonic whale sea dragon beast, Xiao had secretly stored its entire corpse in his bag. Jasmine and the others likely wouldn't notice for a while, but over time, the truth would probably come to light. The materials I need to cultivate the dragon god's 4th transformation should all be here. After carefully checking the barrier in his room, Xiao cautiously released the dismembered body parts from his imperial flame ring. Such a terrible stench. Various limbs, bones, and bloody flesh appeared in the room, filling the air with a sharp, foul odor that made Xiao frown. What exactly is this? After a brief hesitation, Xiao sorted the body parts of the demonic whale sea dragon beast. However, the enormous body had been split into pieces, and some of the main parts were released. After all, the room couldn't accommodate the entire corpse. As his voice fell, Xiao focused on the dying dragon tail of the demonic whale sea dragon beast and the dented area on its head. He muttered softly, looking at the chunks of flesh on the skeleton, each marked with visible blood-red bite holes. A heavy feeling swept over Xiao body. Demon! After a bit of effort, Xiao pieced together a significant portion of the bones and flesh, vaguely forming a smaller version of the demonic whale sea dragon beast. 2 faint words suddenly appeared on its surface. A sense of unease crept into Xiao heart. Buzz buzz. As the 2 words, demon, swirled with blood-colored energy, Xiao amber flame uncontrollably shot out, as if it despised those words. Forget it. Never mind. But this dragon tail, though it contains the bloodline of a subdragon, it seems not quite enough, Xiao said helplessly after trying to make sense of things. It seems I'll have to keep this dragon tail for now. Once I get more things, I'll be able to start cultivating the dragon god's 4th transformation. Xiao thought to himself. After all, the dragon god's 4th transformation was far from what it used to be, and it couldn't be taken lightly. Well then, let's burn it, Xiao said softly, sorting out the useful parts. He then looked at the terrifying blood-red demon, words on the useless bones and meat. With a light command, his amber sacred flame erupted, scorching them. Roar, roar, roar. As the flames burned, the dying beast's scream echoed deep into Xiao soul. The bones and meat quickly turned to ash, though a faint gray smoke lingered in the air, as if revealing something. Whoosh whoosh. The gray smoke swirled slightly, and soon, a scene appeared within the mist. A deserted island? Seeing the image in the gray smoke, Xiao pupils contracted, and he focused intently. It was a deserted island, appearing to float on the surface of the sea. The island was vast, almost out of place with the surrounding sea and air, like the entrance to a hellish abyss. There's definitely something evil here. At that moment, Xiao Yan's do qi inside his body went quiet and solidified, and he could hear his own heartbeat. The uncontrollable fear seemed to stem from the isolated island in front of him. Whoosh! After a deep breath, the gray mist shattered, and the room returned to calm. What's going on? Sweat poured down Xiao Yan's forehead like beans, gasping for air. The fear that had come from his soul was something Xiao Yan had never experienced before. There must be some earth-shattering secret hidden on that isolated island. Something that could make me feel this terrified. I'm afraid. Xiao Yan slowly calmed down, carefully adjusting his breathing. Meanwhile, on the other side, Miss Zhang, we've successfully crossed the core area of the Devil Sea territory. If we move forward, I'm afraid. In the room, only Zhang Yu, Elder Gu, and Imo Li were present. Elder Gu spoke first. Don't worry, as long as you safely deliver me to my destination, I will make sure the reward is generous, Zhang Yu replied coldly. But the Devil's Nest is merely a legend. No one in Water Abyss City has ever seen it with their own eyes. How can you be so certain it exists deep within the Devil Sea territory? At this moment, Imo Li also felt a sense of crisis. It seemed that Zhang Yu was not as simple as she appeared, and she voiced her concerns. You don't need to know this? Zhang Yu shook her head, clearly unwilling to continue arguing with them. This? Seeing Zhang Yu's attitude, the other two exchanged glances and began to have second thoughts. Previously, Imo Li had narrowly defeated the demonic whale sea dragon beast. This time, they had planned to take it down for the bounty, but they hadn't expected it to be so terrifying. If not for Yin Zhao's help, their group might have stayed there forever. Adding to this the earlier madness of the sea beasts in the ocean, when weighing money against life, the latter seemed more important. Now you want to retreat? It's too late. Here. Zhang Yu's delicate eyebrows furrowed slightly as her slender hand casually waved. In an instant, a token engraved with countless luxurious feathers appeared in the air of the room. What? What is this? The Holy Sea's order? Looking at the token, which seemed to be wrapped in pure white wings like some divine beast, Imo Li gasped. The words Holy Sea represented one of the most powerful factions across all human continents. The Dodi Four Continents, such as Doyun Continent, had a branch of the Holy Sea. No one knew how powerful their true headquarters was, but they had the backing of the Angel Clan. Their mission was to maintain order across the entire human world. Once the Holy Sea intervened, their targets for destruction were almost always the most heinous demons or extraterritorial evil clans. Every time they acted, it would shift the balance of power. Many strong figures in the Holy Sea traveled across the Great Thousand Worlds, and once they discovered someone who defied human rules or evil beings, they would be labeled as heretics and suppressed with the most primitive force. Compared to the Angel Clan's savior title, they preferred to be known as the Terminators of life. Once a Holy Sea powerhouse set their sights on someone, it usually meant the person's death sentence. This was the Holy Sea, an organization that prided itself on sacrificing everything for human peace and stability, even willing to bear the weight of unspeakable sins. Some humans are approaching the death zone. Go take a look. They must be some foolish fishermen or some death-seeking mercenaries. But don't worry, no matter how many people come, they'll all make the best test subjects for you, Master. A simple conversation echoed from the depths of the sea, and the source of the voice seemed to come from the Devil's Nest. Just the voice itself carried a chilling and evil aura that struck the heart. Summoning me so urgently, is there something important? One night, just as Xiao Yan was about to sleep, Imo Li summoned him to the fairy hall in the middle of the night. Clearly, something important was at hand. She's here too? Xiao Yan had just spoken when his gaze shifted, and he realized that this time, all 5 members of the Jasmine mercenary group were present. Their eyes were long and serious, clearly bearing the weight of something important. In contrast, Zhang Yu sat quietly aside, looking as if nothing were wrong. Lord Yin Xiao. As soon as Xiao Yan arrived, Elder Gu quickly stood up to greet him. Let's get to the point. Xiao Yan waved his hand, walking to his seat and sitting down, his expression growing more serious. Tomorrow, we will enter a special area. At this point, Imo Li stood up first and spoke softly. Though her voice was quiet, The pressure and unease in it were impossible to hide. What's wrong with this area? Lord, you may not know this, but this area is referred to as the Death Zone by the citizens of Water Abyss City, Elder Goose said weakly. According to my intelligence, once we safely pass through this Death Zone, we will be able to reach our destination successfully. As for that destination, it is likely related to the incidents involving Water Abyss City and those crazed sea beasts, Zhang Yu said, glancing at Xiao. His words seemed to be directed specifically at Xiao. Don't ask me why. I'm here on a mission, and the destination is the Devil's Nest. Once you safely escort me there, I'll tell you everything. Zhang Yu quickly spoke up, sensing the tense atmosphere in the room. Zhang Yu's strength was rather weak, but his identity was special. If he wanted to cross this sea area and enter the Devil's Nest, it would be easy. However, doing so would alert the enemy, so he had no choice but to rely on the Jasmine mercenary group for assistance. Elder Gu, Yin Xiao, will fight one last time tomorrow. Ningling, you take care of the logistics, Jasmine said, though she had initially wanted to confront Zhang Yu. After thinking for a moment, she decided against it. All right. The group nodded, and the atmosphere fell quiet once more. Time passed, and the next day arrived. Boom! On the sea, only a single ferry boat rocked as it moved, with heavy rain pouring down from the dense clouds above. The darkness and the intense atmosphere of death made it feel as though the world itself was on the brink of collapse. How much further? Xiao, Elder Gu, and Jasmine stood firm on the deck despite the immense pressure from the storm, with Xiao speaking in a low voice. Beneath this sea area, there were likely hundreds of formidable sea beasts. If they were trapped here, they would have no place to bury their bodies. Clearly, the situation was even more urgent than they had imagined. Another 100 meters and we'll reach the Death Zone. In the Death Zone, we can't use any Do Chi. Only soul power will work, and behind us, a group of sea beasts is relentlessly chasing us. Elder Gu's gaze was anxious as he looked behind, where a massive group of sea beasts was churning in the water. It seemed that they were intentionally steering the ferry towards the Death Zone. Once the ferry was engulfed in the Death Zone, the people aboard would be turned into the sea beasts' food. You go ahead. I'll handle the back. Jasmine hummed coldly, and dazzling armor appeared around her, clearly made from high-quality materials. Plop! The ferry's speed increased drastically as the front half entered the calm waters of the Death Zone, while the rear half remained in the turbulent sea. So quiet. Xiao stood at the front of the boat, looking at the ferry moving silently, with not a sound to be heard around them. It felt as if everything had fallen into a deep silence. It was so quiet that it made Xiao feel uneasy. Even the water in the Death Zone appeared frozen, motionless. If not for the ferry still moving, Xiao would have had the illusion that they had already passed through the Death Zone. Is the Do Chi completely sealed by some mysterious force? And there are many sunken ships around. This must be the root of all the strange occurrences, Xiao thought, not rushing to take action. His gaze swept across the Death Zone, which was about 100 meters in size. There were wrecks of all sizes floating, but no signs of life could be felt. TSK. A rather luxurious ferry, mid-stage of 5-star Do Xian, immortal-grade soul power. It seems we've encountered quite the extraordinary individual this time. A sinister voice slowly echoed, just as Xiao felt something was off. Who's there? Xiao shouted in alarm, scanning his surroundings, but found nothing. Who I am is not important, but who you are, I'm quite curious, the eerie voice continued, as if it was merging with the sea of the Death Zone, making it impossible to detect the source. I took a bounty to come check out this so-called Death Zone, to see what it's really about, Xiao sneered, but his soul power, battle soul phantom, and sacred flame were all on high alert, ready to strike at any moment. Demonic guard, seize him. The sinister voice rang out once more, and suddenly, visible whirlpools appeared on the calm sea. From these whirlpools came an evil aura that made Xiao extremely uncomfortable, like a demon crawling out of hell, its stench unbearable. Whoosh! The whirlpools closed, and dozens of humans emerged from within. However, these individuals were filled with a blood-colored energy, as if they had been controlled. They lacked any intelligence, their eyes bloodshot, staring intently at Xiao Yin, intent on killing him. They look exactly like those who were biting people before. Swish. These guys weren't about to show Xiao Yin any courtesy. With a flurry of movement, they bared their bloodthirsty mouths and charged straight at him, ready to tear him apart. Damn! These guys aren't weak, Xiao Yin muttered as he watched the dozens of hostile figures charge at him with overwhelming force. With his douqi sealed and unable to use the sacred flame, dealing with these enemies was troublesome. Forget it. I might as well play along. I'm curious to see what this devil's nest is all about. A fleeting smile crossed Xiao Yan's face, and he casually put up some resistance before allowing himself to be torn at by the attackers. However, these attackers didn't actually manage to bite into him. It was all just an illusion crafted by Xiao Yan. Even if his douqi was sealed, it was ridiculous to think that these enemies could get close to someone like him, a powerhouse at the immortal grade void realm or an expert of the soul. Bang, bang, bang. In no time, as Xiao Yin was easily captured, those behind him quickly caught on. After some resistance, they too were effortlessly bound. Each of their bodies was marked with several glaring blood-red holes, but these were simply illusions created by Xiao Yan's soul power, not real injuries.